share my experience, my journey, where I coincidentally entered into the field of technology and then later on entrepreneurship, and how I try and still am trying to help the younger generation, the people of Pakistan, to make a mark for themselves. So, being an MBA student in 2008, back then, finance background, I decided that I'm going to become a banker like any other student. And I think in a very short period of time, I realized that this was not the right field for me. And that's when I, again, as I mentioned, coincidentally joined one of the leading tech publications in Pakistan, a franchise, an American franchise, where I got the opportunity to work with big brands like Google, like Oracle, IBM, SAP, Microsoft, HP, Dell, many, many others, and many local tech companies as well. And at that time, I realized that this was not just a career for me, but something that I was looking forward to because it had a lot of opportunities. Again, a non techie into the tech world, and then again, a female into the tech world, it was extremely difficult. Even right now, I can count the number of women we have in the field of technology, but at that time, there were maybe two or three. So it was very difficult. A lot of pressure came on me, a lot of societal issues rose because my family was against me traveling all over the country. I traveled the world as well, got a lot of opportunities, and a lot of pressure came on to me that why this path. But as I said, that when I used to meet with girls, used to meet with generally students also on its own, they had a lot of dreams in their eyes, but there were no direction. There was no platform where they could come and tell that, this is what we need to do, and we need some organization or a person who can help us at least reach to where we need to be. So that's how the journey started. And it kind of, as I said, that I got the opportunity to travel the world. I met with a lot of students. I met with a lot of people who I came to realize later on in life that people on the other side of the country are also same as we are. Same problems, same issues that we have right now here in Pakistan. They also face that at some point in their life. So that's my journey. And then I think in 2018, 17, sorry, when my father passed away, that was one of the breaking points in my life that I decided that maybe this is not what I need to do. Maybe I need to take a break. Maybe I need to sit at home and relax. Because the last 10 to 11 years were nothing but a hustling journey, something which kept me motivated. But my motivation kind of died at that point in 2017. And then I think within a very short period of time, a voice came from within and it was like that no, you're not meant to be for this. You need to keep moving forward. And I think that again, the quote that I shared earlier on reminded me that yes, I need to put in my love. I need to find my passion again, right? And again, when the journey started, that's when I entered the field of entrepreneurship. Um, People at the National Incubation Center in Karachi were really, really helpful, and they really pushed me that you are someone that we need at NIC. You need to be there. You need to help us bring in the right kind of people because of the network that you have. And even at that time, I think the management itself was very helpful, yes. But again, a role that I was given at NIC was a male dominated role. And at that time, again, a lot of questions, a lot of pressure came on me that whether you would be able to do it or not, whether you would be able to be the face of NIC in Karachi or not. And I think at that time, a program that I started off, which I'm very proud of, was called the Built by Her program, which was in collaboration with the Asia Foundation and the US Department of State in the US Consulate in Karachi, where we helped more than 800 women entrepreneurs, not just in Karachi, but from all over the country. And that was the turning point where I was surprised. I was shocked to see women and girls sitting in small towns, small villages with hardly any access to the internet, any opportunities whatsoever. They don't have a bank account, they don't even have their CNICs, but passionate enough to do something of their own. So that's where we did that program for 4 years. And each year we used to receive more than 500 applications. And that was something that got me extremely emotional that, wow, there is potential and how much need there is for the women to be financially independent. Something that I encourage women, I encourage girls in my family, I encourage girls wherever I go, I talk to them, I tell them that how much financial independence is important for you. And financial independence is not just you earning money for yourself, but you deciding that, yes, I can do it. There is nothing in this world that can stop me. Again, I think I was sharing this with someone that people talk about women empowerment and equal rights and whatsoever, right? And there was this argument where this person said that you are not you cannot be physically stronger than a man. Agreed. I cannot. I cannot lift 80 kilos on my shoulders and walk around. But I know the weight that I carry within in my heart is way more bigger and stronger than what a man can do. And I've taught this to a lot of girls, a lot of females, a lot of colleagues when they come to me that, how do you keep that balance? So the first thing I tell them is that don't think yourself as a woman and don't take the other person as a man. Treat them as individuals, human beings. I have a certain capacity to do something, you have a certain capacity to do something, right? So let's work together and create something that can help the society, the ecosystem on the whole. And that's how, and I think that's also, may Allah bless my father, that this is something he taught me that when you go out there, you're not a girl, you're not a female. He taught the same to my brother as well. You're not a boy. You are a human being, an individual who has dreams, who can do this. So that's how I think I tried to mentor the girls, the students, the startups who had ideas, who had dreams, who had passion to do something but had no direction. And surprisingly, when we look at the stats, generally for women globally, there are, I think, just 28% of females in the entire world who are at some position, who hold that rank that can affect others in a positive way. And surprisingly, the number is very, very low in Pakistan. It's as low as 2%. So someone who's at this position falls under that percentage means that the responsibility is huge. And it gives me immense pleasure that I am at a stage where I can, help students, females, girls, to do something for themselves. Then after NIC Karachi, I joined another organization, which was the National Aerospace Science and Technology Park, where we tried to work on the tech skill development of the youth and the resources that are there, that pass out, that graduate every year from universities in Pakistan. 60% of the population is youth again, people with dreams but do not have the access or the availability of resources or to see that what is out there for them in the world. So we managed to do that using my contacts and connections again. We helped a lot of students not just with their IT skills, but helped create work opportunities for them as well. Something I'm very, very extremely proud of myself that in a year's time, I think around 300 to 400 students got enrolled in different programs, not just in Karachi, but in Lahore and Islamabad as well. And then chose a career, a pathway for themselves. And I know this for a fact that 5 years down the lane, maybe they'll have something good to say about me as well. And then I think being well connected with my previous organization at the National Incubation Center in Karachi, the organization reached out to me again and they said that there is a position here in Hyderabad. Would you be willing to consider that? Again, someone who was born in Karachi, who was brought up in Karachi, Hyderabad. Yes, I am well connected with Hyderabad, but I never lived in Hyderabad. So again, a lot of pressure came. Would you be interested? Yes, I was very much interested. Why would you go there? People, after Karachi, the next stop is Dubai and then US and then Europe and whatsoever. Why are you taking a step back? And I think at this, the only answer that I gave to anybody who came to me with this comment that why Hyderabad and why not the Middle East or the US or wherever. So again, as I said, I love the city. I was just talking to my colleague before we entered the event over here that the vibe of this city is amazing, something that Karachi is missing. Even a- in a cold night in Hyderabad, if you go out, you see people happy, sitting in a corner with fire on, talking, eating, walking around, roaming around, something that is missing from Karachi. I've interacted with a lot of universities in the last month and a half, and I've seen that there are dreams, there are hopes that can be fulfilled, that can be achieved, right? But again, not everybody can get a chance to go from Hyderabad to Karachi or onwards. So, why not bring those opportunities for the students, for the women particularly, to Hyderabad and help them achieve their dreams? So, that is why I decided to move to Hyderabad, and the journey has been nothing but amazing so far. It is really, I'm really thankful to the people of Hyderabad who have not just welcomed me with open arms, but they give me that regard that they think that I can do something for them. So huge responsibility on me, where I am now trying to do something to bridge that gap between the students, the entrepreneurs, the women, anybody who wants to do something for themselves here in Hyderabad by utilizing my contacts, my connections, and create something for themselves. And I think I would just like to end my talk over here again by something that I share with everybody, whether it's my siblings or anybody I meet with, is that no matter what happens, life is tough. It's a long journey. It's a difficult pathway. Not everybody is blessed with opportunities and a lot of money. Let's keep it that way. But one thing as a person, you need to ensure that I will be kind. Kind to myself, kind to the people I work with, kind to the people I interact with. Because in the end, no matter what happens, kindness wins and people will remember the good in you. So, whatever you do, how hard the life gets, um, how many difficulties you face in life, and you will face in life, I'm telling you. We were given, when we were growing up, we used to be given this hope that as you go further in life, as you grow older, things are going to get easy. No, they are not going to get easy. They will get tough for you. But don't forget to be kind, be positive in your approach. And that's my parting comment for all of you that be in love with what you do and be kind to yourself and the people around you, and you will see wonders happening around you. Thank you.